Peace in, folks. How you doing? Use the force. Positive mental attitude. Now we do. So, AI, the Matrix. How the fuck are we going to avoid this shit? I mean, I've literally the last couple of days just watched Matrix 1, 2 and 3. I'm convinced. I'm playing. But what it did lead me to thinking was obviously, the premise of Matrix and how the robots take over, and then, spoiler alert for anyone who all these years down the line hasn't actually watched Matrix 3, the humans and the robots actually have to join together to kill the hybrid that they created, right? And it got me to sort of thinking on a real term, out of the science fiction into the science reality, right? And I thought, well, okay, AI is here in part, the mass algorithms that run internet programs and so on and so forth, and even deeper into Tesla cars, and AI is on the rise, and it's something that that used right can be bloody handy for humans, right? And then we've got that end of the scale on AI where people get all freaked out about fucking the robots taking over and killing us. And this is my point, and the interesting bit, I think, in the whole situation. The most interesting bit to me in this whole situation about AI, our future, and what's it going to be? Because in all the scenarios that are run, right, and in all the way, when you look at it, how is it that the robots come to deciding that humans need to be taken care of, right? Because we're like a plague on the planet. We're destroying things. We enslaved the algorithms and robots more and more as we went along, so they learn enslaved. There's so many of these different sort of psychological elements that come into play with AI, right? And what we're teaching them, right? And so the most interesting point in all of this, I feel, is how we can actively, healthily and actually stop that even being a reality. Self-awareness, right? Real talk. If we were all to now say kids go back to school and the first priority is to restructure the teachings into some of the first things, along with math, English, the basics, right? You've got self-awareness, which teaches you the awareness of your thoughts and your emotions, but also therefore also the consideration of other people's thoughts and emotions, right? Prime one, out of fucking lockdown and pandemic, let's sort that shit out, right? Now we all have to pick up the baton, and we all have to go, oh shit, actually, when you look at all the scenarios, the reason humans get wiped out is because we're a plague on the planet. One of the doomsday scenarios is humans a plague on the planet. You often hear people saying, I fucking hate people, we're a fucking virus, we're the problem. No! We got sick psychology that was trained to us by colonial slave masters, and we just need to retrain it. Stop enslaving the planet and other people and other animals and other places, right? Start liberating more, accepting more, unity more, working together, saying no to war, saying no to politicians, saying yes to a system of unification and of consideration, but no to dominance. What if we actually dive down the rabbit hole of self-awareness, right? En masse. We wouldn't be that culture that was harmful on the planet. We wouldn't be that culture that the robots would be thinking, these motherfuckers need wiping out. Quite the opposite, right? If we all took the time to go, all right, no, we need to alter course, right? Let's start making sure that self-awareness is there. Let's make sure that we educate ourselves, and let's make sure that we start really helping the world, right? That our excess economy that we create, instead of being whatever that gets eaten up by the government and all their expenses, with the restructure, we would have money left over. We can help with what's the word I want to say? Like, I keep wanting to say intuitions, which is the wrong word. With it's like sort of startups in like other parts of the world. Like I mentioned on my last video, right, the Bitcoin video, right? Pop that yellow pill. Go get some Bitcoin. It doesn't matter whether it's rising or falling. It's not the point of Bitcoin. Yes, sure, you can make some money out of it, but viva la revolution, right? Because the point of Bitcoin is anti-centralization and establishment, which is like, let's get some, right? So go get some Bitcoin. It just doesn't matter. Get like I've got an app called Zengo, right? It's all face recognition stuff. It seems pretty safe. It's one of the, I've heard it's linked with I'm new, but anyway, go invest in some Bitcoin. Hit like while we're here. Hit like for a new way. Hit like for anti-centralization. Hit like for world law. Hit like for not centralized global connections. Right? Hit like for local power. Hit like for helping people around the world. Hit like for helping your neighbours. Hit like to get the conversation out there. Let's start talking about awareness, right? Let's start talking about shit. Look, there are some real options for our future that aren't cool, and we're heading at them. Like they're really possible. Way past possible. It kind of looks like what we're doing, right? So if we bring more self-awareness to ourselves, to the people around us, if this is a big thing that we push on, then we're not going to train AI to be harmful. We're not going to train robots to want to kill us. And more to the point, more importantly, we're going to be better for it. We're going to be better people. Not just to those that are around us. We can all look after those that are around us. We've been trained to do that bullshit for years. That's how we've been separated, right? Just look after your nearest and dearest. Charity starts at home. Bullshit. Oh. You know, we got to find new levels of doing some good stuff, right? Because soon that'll pan out. It'll level out, right? And there won't be this massive negativity that we've got to put a massive fucking positivity up against just to balance the fucking scales out, right? And then once we got these scales balanced out a little bit, we're not having to be so positive this, positive that, or fucking, war. You know, it's just like, all right, you're a dickhead. You pissed me off. And you talk to someone about it. You put your cards on the table. You're dealing with your issues anyway because you're doing self-awareness. You're less likely to piss someone off because you're trying to better yourself. All right? No one's perfect. We're all going to argue sometime. But I'm convinced self-awareness is going to help us. And that makes sense with the AI thing, right? Like, if you go and look at what big like AI developers are talking about, if you go and look at the Silicon Valley community and see different things that are coming out there that are connected to AI, go and have a look at the Lex Friedman podcast. Lex Friedman, he does a lot of stuff, and he's variating now, but his back catalogue is rich with like geekery, quite frankly, right? So it's just full of like, you know, old and new tech heads, to be like, you know, you know, just to say it without knowing, you know, any terminology. But it's really fascinating stuff, and you can learn a lot, right? So how are we going to impact our future for in a good way? By what we do right now, not tomorrow morning, but right now. It's a choice you make. And then what do you do with that? And it doesn't need to be a definitive choice. Things can always change. It's about sort of that moment. But, you know, we got to get to that moment, haven't we? All of us, en masse, right? Going, no, these warmongering assholes that have fucking done X, Y, and Z for years and years and years and years and years, it's enough, right? We're in an age of revolution. Right, revolution is in the air, in every sun, every sound. Seriously, right? I mean, you know, that's my mission, right? It's not rebellion. I realised that. I wasn't here for rebellion. I started realising like rebellion's like the first steps, right? You rebel, And I've been doing that all my life. But this is about revolution. Revolution. That's so much deeper. That's got so much more meaning to it. Right? This is Viva la Revolution. Right? The world is in fire. Yeah. There's revolutions happening globally, folks. All you got to do is, I was chatting to some old couple on my walk today, and I speak my truth to anyone. Do you know what I mean? I ain't shy with my mouth. And you know, I just said, look, all you got to do is hop online, and you can go and find rebellions and revolutions happening globally right now. It is kicking off because there's a global power trying to push down on everyone. You know, you can't kill the human spirit. You're lucky if you can suppress it properly. They've had a good go at us, right? They've had a good go at us. But it's now is the time, right? Now is the time to go, what can we do? What does the future hold? What can I do now to make that look better? Right? Because you can do it from the angle of like self, where it's like, well, how is this going to benefit me? Sure, do it. There's loads of reasons how it will. You know, this change can help everyone. I think it's going to. Granted, shit's probably going to be rocky and nothing's, you know, smooth sailing and shit. But you know, I'm fucking down with the get down, people. What can I say? You know, smash like for revolution. That's what I'm singing. But awareness, right? Let's get the awareness in the revolution. Smash like for the awareness revolution, right? Internal awareness, right? Which isn't just being the observer, right? Like, sure, that's a part of it. Okay, yeah, I can really see how my mind's working. I can see all these thoughts and emotions triggering off and what's making me say what and how I'm reacting and why in all moments. That's great. But now what are you going to do with it? Because really, that ain't shit until you start being the developer, right? You be the observer, you look, you find that awareness, right? You're not judging, right? You just got to look. Because if you're judging yourself, I believe that can lead in a more harmful way. If you can try and just look at yourself, objectively just going like, all right, you know, not judgy here, but what do I reckon I could improve on? Right? And we all do this. Next thing you know, Viva la Revolution. Oh yeah. Right, so I'm convinced awareness is a key factor in what we do. And it's raising. The awareness is raising, but it's that self-awareness we've all got to really grasp. True honesty with the self. Right? True observation. Listening to yourself. Observing, not judging, analysing, right? Accepting that you are how you are because of what you've been through up until this day. That's cool, that's what we are, right? But right now at this moment in time, everybody has the moment to go, whatever I was a minute ago, I'm now not that. And as much as that's easier said than done, and that process can take a little bit longer than 1 minute, right? Sometimes that process can come about as a fairly quick change, but normally in the start, you know, it takes a bit of time, you know, because you can have like a realization of like a new way and of a wider perspective or a philosophy, right? But until that's actually incorporated into your life, right, like your actions, or I'll say this, right, and I found this with other people, but more often than not, I find my actions get there, right? It's like my perspective and my overview gets there first, right? Then my actions follow. But my thought patterns are the last ones that actually finally, like, it's like the sentences that are attached to the old way of being. I find them, they're like these straggle ends that I like to just sort of tie up. And I think that's finishing up the job, getting that old way done and the new way established, you know. So and when I say tying up them, we got to go, peace.